Jai Gurudev and hello and welcome to your Saheli chat show. My name is Jazz Saikon, I'm your host, and with me I have two guests. I have Devinda Ubi and I have Gudyal Garcha. Hello Ji, welcome. Sasika.
Jai Gurudev.
आज ਅਸੀਂ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ few different topics. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਟੱਚ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਆ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਸ਼ਾਦੀਆਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਐਂਡ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਘਟਾਈਏ ਹੁਣ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਨੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਖਾਲਾ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹਨਾ ਬਈ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਆ ਘਟਾਉਣੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਆ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਨੰਬਰਸ so obviously we've managed to do that and the weddings have been more intimate and it's been more about the couple whereas often we get so engrossed with the numbers and ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਦਨਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ but things have changed haven't they and ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਛੋਟਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਕੀਤਾ and it was intimate and you saved a lot of money as well. Tell us a little bit about your son's wedding.
ਕੋਵਿਡ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹੈਡ ਨੋ ਚੋਇਸ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੰਬਰ ਘਟਾਉਣੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫਾਈਨ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਥਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਪੈਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੱਦ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸੋ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੇ ਐਂਡ ਤੇ ਔਨ ਦ ਲਾਸਟ ਵੀਕ ਉਹਨੇ ਸੱਦਿਆ ਸੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਫਰੈਂਡਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਆਈ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਪਰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਆ ਉਹੀ ਆਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਵੀ ਨੈਵਰ ਹੈਡ ਐਨੀਬਡੀ ਫਰੋਮ abroad because we couldn't really which was a shame but we had a lot of enjoyment karke sare jinne bhi sadde si they had an immediate relationship with both of the children so ode karke jida koi jak nahi si kise to eda nahi siga bhi only ne look after ਕੀਤੀ ode karke ਸਾਰੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਸੀਗੇ so ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ
ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਹਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ
ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਜੋਏ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਾਰੇ everybody danced and ਏਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਰੋਟੀ ਕਦੋਂ ਆਉਣੀ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਈਏ
ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੌਣ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕਈ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇਖਣ ਚੱਕਣੇ ਆਏ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ we understand right and also ਜਦੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਦਾ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਦਵਿੰਦਰ ਕੋਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਦਾ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਫੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ always ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਦੂਰ ਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਨਾ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਜਾ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ how do you feel especially during COVID now obviously we've changed haven't we as a
I think COVID karke people probably most feeling confident and safer to say I don't want to go because COVID to pehla people majboori na jande se thi मैं नहीं चाहती वो मेरे बारे अच्छा नहीं सोचेंगे बुरा सोचेंगे they probably think मैं not respected person so बंदे ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਪਰ ਡਰ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ
ਵੀ ਸਦਿਆਇਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਇਦਾਂ ਆ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਰਾਈਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਵਧਾਇਆ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੀ ਕੰਮ so now we're feeling ਠੀਕ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਗਨ ਦੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ still ਜਾਵੋ but ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਰਾਸ਼ੇ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਆ and also the other thing is ਅੱਗੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੱਫੀਆਂ ਪਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਣਾ now we understand ਕਈ ਲੋਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੂਰੋਂ ਹੈਲੋ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਸੂਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਹਨਾ and people are still cautious and things are slowly getting back to normal even with work situations. I mean I personally have been working for nearly 2 years from home now and we're gradually going back in 2 days a week so which as a business you have to do as well
definitely
but it's still quite a nice work-life balance because before mobile phones and all this technology and before COVID all we knew was ਜਾਣਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੀ ਆ 9 ਤੋਂ 5 ਕੰਮਾਂ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਵੀਕਐਂਡ ਤੇ ਡੈਂਸ ਵੀ ਨਿਭਾਉਣੇ ਆ ਰਾਈਟ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੀ ਜਾਣਾ but now we've become quite mindful don't you think
yeah definitely
and how has that helped you personally
I personally found it really hard working from home. I like structure and ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ready ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਘਰੋਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨੇ I found it hard ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਕੂਲ 'ਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਘਰ ਕੰਮ ਕੇ you can do it at your own time ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਜੌਬ ਤੇ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਸਿਬਲ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਆਫਿਸ ਕੰਮਾਂ ਲਈ I feel you know ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਫੇਰ ਵੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਹੈਲਥ ਵਾਲੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਚੋਇਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਆ ਜੋ ਕੁਛ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਆ
and also
that's the thing
ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਫੋਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਆ right and I think people that are working from home they're working even harder because
break ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ
ਆਪਾਂ ਫੋਨ ਤੋਂ ਤਾਂ break ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ technology ਤੋਂ right we're constantly on it because you can't help it everything is on your phone
ਨਾਲੇ ਦੂਜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਮਸ਼ੀਨ ਲਾ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਹੂਵਰ ਫੇਰ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਧੋਂਦੀ ਸੋ ਸਾਡਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਦੇ ਮੁੱਕਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ
but in a way it's a nice work life balance because ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ 9-5 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ and then you can be free so it's just how you play with the cards that you've got
it's different for everyone है ना कईयों ਨੂੰ ਠੀਕ ਸੂਟ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਕਈयों ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਂਦਾ but it depends on individual personality है ना I mean I enjoyed the lockdown people can how can you enjoy I did I went to do so many things during the lockdown we don't realize that ਇੰਨਾ time ਹੁੰਦਾ and there's so much you can accomplish in the day ਘਰ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਆਪਣੇ hobbies ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਕੰਮ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਓ it's just so much you can do
absolutely for me the biggest thing was you know the commute ਪਹਿਲਾ ਘੰਟਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਘੰਟਾ ਆਉਣਾ ਉਹ 2 ਘੰਟੇ at least you have them right because you get to spend them with your family or on yourself doing the things that you wanted to do it does have a big impact from here we're going to still stay on like ਵਿਆਹ ਸ਼ਾਦੀਆਂ what would you say like jida tusi bya kitta shota would you say that's how you would do it again if you know if you was to do it again or if somebody else kisa da bya hobe is that the advice you would give
I think
or did it suit you
it suited me I mean it's not something I would be comfortable giving advice on because I think for some women or men you know it's the whole thing is it's a dream isn't it and we all feed into that dream of having a big fancy wedding having so many people there so for my children that's what they wanted people that they had real relationships with not somebody flanna them karan all those
but did you do all the traditions like the lead up to the wedding did you do
unfortunately due to COVID we didn't no but to be honest my children didn't really want to do the whole like manya and all those kind of things
you didn't do any of that
I wanted it okay. I did
okay so did you do like did you make all the things did the karai chari or kitta program
we did my cousin you know helped out with all that and all the ladies that live because they're a bit of a community they did all of that which was brilliant and we loved it
and it is important that we do keep some of our traditions and our cultures going you know as well because some of these things are really nice and if we don't do them next generation ne ta karna hi nahi hega
I think because my mum or my dad or my grandparents are not here so that's why they kind of didn't have to do them if my parents had been I'm sure they would have just gone with it to please them that's the difference
we had a wedding recently a couple of weeks ago and it was the nanny who did the granddaughter's wedding so it was very traditional you know it was really nice to see that as well because you know that's how we've grown up and that's what we know so it is important just to say they want to do it don't they and whereas where there aren't obviously we're going to do what we know best and what the children do and
I think this COVID karke has helped people to break free from that you know the comparison you know but competition like is who does the best wedding who does the most lavish wedding hana so I think we sort of like hopefully you can break free from that doing small weddings you can still do a really nice venue
definitely
but it's none of that showing off anymore now you know that kita we can sort of like calm down a little bit hana and be a bit sensible about weddings
definitely
I mean for me you know the biggest thing is where you hear about parents who are remortgaging their houses just
it's ridiculous
and that's just I don't feel that's justifiable to expect somebody to go into that kind of debt when they should be coming away from that
because they like we said before they were getting really big and there's so much pressure still there are families who put it all on the girls parents and you know we always say give your daughter that big education never mind about that big fat wedding because she's got the education you've given her everything that she really needs to be independent so because कई हुण इदां कहंदे सी कि असीं कुछ नहीं लैना पर असीं 800 बंदा लेके आउणा पहला रोटी खलाउंदियां दे बंदे दा जोर लग जांदा है it's not cheap anymore is it रोटी पानी अगे
it's about £35 per person
exactly and it's hard and the stress and the pressure and then obviously जिहड़ा अपने ब्याह शादियां च alcohol is a big thing and obviously it's big within our community as well so we'll touch on alcohol I think that's an important one I mean it's these crucial conversations you've got to have with your children rather than be that strict parent sometimes it's nice to be that friend and just explain to them that it's okay back at people being like but be sensible within your limits and knowing when to stop
I think they have to be in that environment where they see people around them adults are being sensible I think oda kafi fark penda so
and I think we're coming away from this thing where you have to put a bottle of Bacardi or Bacardi or Chivas Regal big bottles on each table I mean I don't think those kind of people drink I mean it's better just to have a bar where people can have to get up and go to the bar every time they want to drink rather than having it there and they're just kind of looking at the bottle and just becoming greedy or not sensible about the way they're doing it.
Because when you go to the bar, you're going to be mindful, aren't you? How many times you're getting up, and you might think, "Oh, I've been up so many times now. I'm going to think I've, had enough. I'm going to stop." Whereas when it's on the table, it's so easy to pour, and you're not really pouring a right measure either because you don't know what you're doing. So there are things that we have changed from, and we do still need to change from, right?
I've got one of my friends works in a hospital, and she said the amount of youngsters that are coming in now who they've been there and they're having liver problems and I think it's important to kind of address that
because while you're young it's you're getting away with it but as we get older look at the impact it's having on our bodies and people that have been drinking like all weekend how they feel on a Monday and they've got to go to work and how much pressure are we putting on our bodies
and the other thing I think is that we shouldn't ban children having a drink because I think it should be part of the way we live because you then get the situation where children go to college, university or clubs and it's almost like they've been free come out of a prison jid qaid kitte hunde nyane bhi ekdam
onne jyade
bigad jande nyane so there's no need
restrictions that nyana hobe siana hobe they rebel right
ਸਮਝਾਉਣਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਬਣਦਾ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥੋੜੇ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਵੀ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ not over the top
ਅੱਗੇ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਚ ਤਾਂ like ਜਦੋਂ ਵਿਆਹ ਸ਼ਾਦੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਤਾਂ there always used to be a fight there right drink related when we've come away from that there's less fights ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਫਿਕਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਵਿਆਹ successfully ਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਲੜਾਈ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ
ਉਹ ਵੀ ਹਲੇ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ
ਹੁਣ ਘੱਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਅੱਗੇ every wedding you went to there would be like a drama at some stage right so we are trying but ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਦੇ ਰਹੋ and have a drink with them it's fine if that's what they want to do let them have a drink and let them have it with other family members and it's just being mindful again
it's about educating them and yourself
it is and there's a few things that like life sometimes ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਦੋਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ curveball set ਦੇਣਾ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ we just don't know and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੋਨੇ coaches so I just thought what we can give our viewers is a little bit of guidance on how they can get through something like this say something happens that they weren't expecting and as coaches I mean you're a spiritual coach and you are a life coach so how does one kind of cope with when life throws a certain curveball that you didn't expect something to happen say you lost a job say you've lost a loved one or say you've got poor health I mean just a little bit of guidance
I think if I can go first
go for it
for me I suppose because I've worked ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਿਕਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਫੋਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਿਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਕੀ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ ਕੰਮ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ, ਵੀ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਕਰੋ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਫੋਨ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਵੀ ਚਲੋ ਬੈਠੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ, ਫਰੈਂਡ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪਲਾਨ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੋਣਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਕਰਕੇ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਥੱਕੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਤੋਂ ਆ ਕੇ, ਜਾਂ ਜੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਪਰ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਕਰਕੇ। ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਿਰ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਲੈਣਾ ਇਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਵੈਰੀ ਹਾਰਡ।
ਨਿਆਣੇ ਯੂਜ਼ਡ ਟੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਬਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰੀਏ, ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਦੱਸੀਏ। So you do need to stay involved, don't you, with their lives. And also if they're going through anything, you teach them how they can stay resilient and kind of look after themselves better. And what, you know, ਇਹੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ parents ਦੀ part। ਤੇ
ਨਾਲੇ ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਵੀ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲਵੋ। ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਜਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਫੋਨ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਟਦੇ, ਜਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਾਂ। ਸੋ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਪਫੁਲੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਆ, ਐਡਵਾਈਸ ਦੇ ਸਕਦਾ ਆ। ਪਰ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੀ ਰੱਖਣੀਆਂ ਆ। ਪਰ ਇਹੀ ਦੈਟਸ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਵਿਦ ਇਨ ਆਵਰ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਘਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਹੀ ਆ, ਦੇयर इज नो नीड टू डू दैट ਕਰਕੇ। ਹਰੇਕ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਆ, ਬਟ ਇਟਸ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਟਾਕਿੰਗ। ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ, ਹੈਲਪ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ, ਨਾਲੇ ਫਿਰ you know ਕੱਲਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ 2 11 ਇੱਦਾਂ।
Definitely. And you know ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਖੋਲ ਕੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਂ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ, ਤਾਂ ਪਰਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ। ਤਾਂ ਦੂਜਾ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਬਈ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, you know, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਗਦੇ ਸੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ always ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ embarrassed feel ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਬਈ ਕੋਈ ਕੀ ਸੋਚੂਗਾ, ਪਰ nobody cares anyway. So ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਨਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਘਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ try to keep yourself upbeat and try to keep your children like that and try to keep them connected with you, because that connection di gall aa jandi hai, that connection is everything.
I think we're talking about the bachche and the phone, the relationship they now, like my experience, I have kids and sare phone karte hain, but my relationship with my children, I respect their privacy because mera trust hega on that. So if you have any feeling around distrust, fir kuch na kuch okay hatda that you find that you can't trust them, but because I fully believe, because I believe in the power of belief, that if I believe mere bachche are safe and sensible, then I don't need to worry about them. That's my experience.
But you see skaliya nyane nu, you know, you've taught them about safety and
I haven't actually taught them. I think we have to be an example. They just watch their parents and their family, so you have been an example of how you respect and yourself and other people around them. But I feel I do respect my children's privacy, but if they do make a mistake, they learn from the mistake, they become wiser from it.
Definitely.
And sometimes some parents enna samjhaande fir bhi galti kar lende, then you got to say to them from their galti banda at the end oh sikhda hai, you know. So you got to sort of like just go with the flow and trust and have that relationship with the children where they don't feel like I'm a parent and their children. You got to build that friendship.
Yes, you have to have both, you know, they know you're the parent, right? And you have to behave like a parent. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਤਜਰਬਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ, ਆਪਾਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, but also you change with the times ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਹਾਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੀ ਬਾਜ਼ੀ 'ਚ, because you have to change with the times. And you know ਆਪਣੇ ਮਾਪੇ ਵੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋਏ ਆ, they come, you know, quite a long way, and we have to carry on doing that, because ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹੀਏ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਅਪਬ੍ਰਿੰਗਿੰਗ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਹੁਣ ਗਾਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ, because times have changed. And as long as you said you can trust your children, and you have that different relationship with each of your children, right? And you know what your child is about. But there are still fairy bacha, you know, bache nu bacha kon kave, they don't know everything that you've been through.
But don't you realize that when you see bache that have noticed that their parents are checking up on them, once they notice that they start keeping things to themselves.
You don't need to check up on them.
If they feel that they're getting suspicious and the parents are getting suspicious and the bache and my parents are watching over my shoulder, that's when they start hiding things. So we don't need to go down there.
ਐਂਡ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਹੁਣ ਰਾਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਉਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਪਾਵਰ ਆਫ ਦ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਿਓ
I believe in this what I call the law of assumption ਜਿੱਦਾਂ what we assume about a person ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ what we believe to be true ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਹਟਦਾ that becomes our reality and I've noticed that with so many things in my life and especially just ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਬੰਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਨਾਈਸ ਠੀਕ ਤੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਠੀਕ ਸੇ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰਦਾ and everything because that's what we assume about and that's what we assume and ਉਹੀ ਦਿਸਦਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਬਾਹਰਲੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ and then थोड़े महीने के बाद that banda whatever person doesn't return your phone call or don't attend to your meeting or something फटाफट से सोच आ जाता thinking oh
it's not very nice or she's not very nice but ਆਪਾਂ ਹੀ ਉਹ expectation ਸੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਤਾਂ
expectation ਸੀਗੀ and also we thinking well ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ they never missed a call they never missed my meeting they're always there and all of a sudden that one little incident we start having a different story ਅਸੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਹੀ ਕੁਝ ਸੋਚਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ ਉਹ ਸੋਚ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਹੀ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ we think oh ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਏਦਾਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਹੁਣ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ we just trying to say ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੀ ਕੈਰੈਕਟਰ ਬਦਲ ਗਈ we think ਉਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਕੈਰੈਕਟਰ ਬਦਲ ਗਿਆ ਪਰ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਗਈ
ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਿ we haven't been taught this in like growing up you know we've not been educated on this and it's really interesting how powerful your mind is ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਮਨ ਜਿੱਤਾ ਜਗ ਜਿੱਤਾ you know your mind is everything and that is your child ਜੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋਗੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਉਹ ਲਿਸਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਬਲੀਵ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ
and you can all experiment ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ experiment ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ think of someone a person you think that might be a difficult person ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਔਖਾ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਵਾਲਾ whatever ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਉਹੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਆਪਦੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ just change a story about them see ignore ਬਾਹਰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ so ਅੰਦਰ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਲੈਣਾ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦਾ very caring very understanding you keep doing that and doing that and doing ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਓ ਹੌਲੀ before you know it that person changed we didn't change the person we changed the story about them once ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਚ ਬਦਲਦੀ ਹੈ ਬਾਹਰਲੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਆਪੇ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ this is how power of the mind is so powerful
you can instigate it you become the instigator don't you of that story but ਤੁਸੀਂ create ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਉਹ story ਹੈ ਨਾ
but see we become so powerless as we start going into the guilt and feeling like one blame game that ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ that person treated me so badly ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੁਖੀ ਹਾਂ right we don't have to go down there because we make ourselves the victim
ਆਪਣੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਪਾਵਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਲੋਕ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅਪਸੈਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ there is no story ਉਹ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਉਹਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਨਹੀਂ
but ਸਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ when we start believing it we start making ourselves the victim ਫਿਰ ਸਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ if I detach myself away from that ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਇਆ that person just triggered me made me feel very horrible and nasty inside so I'm just going to ignore that I'm going to think okay what is my story ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਸੀ what image did I have about that person I'm going to change that and I've done it so many times I changed the story and the circumstances change
and it's like you know you could be at a very difficult stage right and you might find it really hard but kei ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ the techniques and the tools and this is where these girls come in you know that's where their work comes in because ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਲਈ ਟਾਈਮ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਲਈ ਟਾਈਮ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ and it all starts with you and we don't invest in ourselves and we don't you know ਆਪਣਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਖੁੰਝੇ 'ਚ ਬਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ from like with my story my husband passed away I could have sat and wallowed right thought bas on my life is over but no I have to be that role model and show my children life is you don't know what's going to happen but you have to get up because you're still living you're alive you have to pick up your pen and carry on writing your story and you also have to come out of your story right that's happened to me but I'm still here and I'm still living I'm living for my children I'm living for myself the best possible life I can and you want to become a role model right and
definitely.
your children get strength from that
and life is just one big movie
definitely
ਆਪਣੇ love the movie ਦਾ ਸੀ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਿਊਸਰ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਸਿਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਮੂਵੀ ਬਣਾਉਣੀ ਆ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਣਾ you know, and then we waste so much time and energy, don't we? that ਮਹੱਲਾ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਾਉਣਾ ਆ I didn't like what you did to me. We try so much waste so much time that if I can change that person ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਖੁਸ਼ and I'm going to feel happy, but it doesn't work. We tried it, don't we? It's futile, wasting the energy, but all the energy use it on ourselves.
Yes.
I feel confident, I'm loved, I'm respected, you know, and once I start to have that relationship with me, that will mirror back to me.
Exactly. And you know, just to see your story, you know, it's like je ek episode thoda challenging bhi aa gaya, it's only one episode, not the whole series.
Exactly.
You can change the rest of the episodes, can't you? By just doing the work and just knowing how to deal with stuff. I know it's hard when you're going through something. I'm not saying it's easy, no one's saying it's easy. But it's just when you have the techniques and the tools and you've done the work on yourself and you're aligned, you know, when you're aligned, the life is going in harmony. Because ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ thoughts ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ words ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ actions ਜਦੋਂ match ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, nothing really troubles you too much, right?
We have to be integrity, है ना? ਅਸੀਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ, you know, ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੋ ਕੁਛ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋ ਕੁਛ and then it's out of balance and life just becomes very messy.
Yes, exactly. We've all been there. We've done it. Honestly, me more than anybody. I've done it.
I've learned from my mistakes. I didn't get here by knowing everything. मैं तन्नी गलतियां हुई हैं, गलतियां तो मैं सीख के आई हैं, you know.
Yeah. And ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ balanced ਆ, ਇਦਾਂ life is in, you know, going in harmony. And you're so awake because ਕਿੰਨਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਤਾਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਲੰਘ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਪਏ just carrying on, just following everybody. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਜੀਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ. Would you like to elaborate on that, ladies?
I think you know, when as young women or men, you know, you're so busy, you know, you get up, you go to work, you send the kids to school, you come home, you make the dinner, watch TV, so sara kuch chali janda ਜਦੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਕੋਈ some challenge ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕਦਮ that all stops and you know if I was to mention you know somebody had an accident or there was a death and we all have to ਉਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ they have to stop so ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰੀਏ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਹੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਟਾਈਮ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਆ so that you know this doesn't happen again so we try to avoid you know we're always going to have challenges and it's about how we interpret what's going to come and not just assume that you know the road is always going to be smooth. There's always going to be bumps in the road and it's about how we cope with those challenges. Je ta assi kahiye mar gaye sa bas sade to we can't cope then we're not going to be able to so that's going to affect फिर अंदरलियां बीमारियां होनियां साडे सिर ते भी बीमारियां होनियां blood pressure all those things affect how we cope but if we're positive and we think you know this has happened let's try and work through it and you know you've got a good support network ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਂਢ ਗੁਆਂਢ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ then that ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਔਖਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਔਖਾ
ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ because like you said it's so easy
ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਰ ਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਫਰਕ ਪੈਂਦਾ
it's so easy to get wrapped up in the tsunami of stress and grief isn't it
the challenges are not in our lives to punish us or to make our life challenges ਸਾਡੇ ਫਾਇਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ to help us to break free from like you say that same old routine life we're on that cycle of life that come work kids you know pet you know sometimes that's not what we're really here to do sometimes we're here to do other most you know, meaningful things in life and sometimes a challenge helps us to put us on another path
definitely
just like with you Hannah
ਆਪਾਂ ਰਾਤ ਕਿਦਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ you know our ਬੱਚੇ grown up and we've done everything we've done all that circle of you know life that we used to do but now ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ we're giving something back we're doing these chat shows you know certain topics ਅਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਵੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਸੰਦ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਲੈ ਆਈਏ and we're making a difference ਨਾਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ experiences share ਕਰਦੇ ਆ and it's so important to share these experiences right
we just want to be help people to come aware you know Sari Sangat that challenges want to see the challenge the gift in the challenge this is what we do as coaches like to see the challenges not to break us it's to help us to grow us and give us a rebirth into a new life a new way of living new way of thinking so we can have a much more fulfilling life so we can have a heavenly experience here because we make our own hell and heaven
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we do, from the way we think and choices we
It's
make.
so true. Let me share one thing with you here. You know, in my darkest times, right, in the midst of such heartache, I was so upset. And one day, you know, I made a note of this actually. One day, you know, you try not to worry, and I cried so much, and I couldn't understand. Right? Honestly, and I was like, honestly, from the pit of my stomach, one evening, I went to the Gurdwara and I said, Baba ji, tusi minu kate dukh ditta? I can't understand. Kate.
Yeah.
And minu hun shakti do to deal with it. And you know what? You know the little voices you hear? I heard a little voice, get up. Ot tu. Kosh nahi hunda. Tu Gurdwara aaya kar. Ot. And you know, it just gave me strength because ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਲੱਕੀ ਆ ਆਪਣਾ ਫੇਸ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਆ and also I heard a voice ਤੈਨੂੰ 10 ਸੁੱਖ ਮਿਲੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਸੁੱਖ ਚਲ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਕੋ ਦੂਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ and you know that is powerful. You don't forget. And I kept going to the Gurdwara and people were like so loving to me and shared my, you know, situation, my grief with me and mera dukh holi band ho gaya, right? And I came to acceptance. It's when you accept, that's the biggest thing. And when you accept and you talk to other people, hor kise nu hoya agla thanu apni story dassa, and you know, you get to a stage where then life actually starts happening. It happened, you think, for me to get me to where I am today.
It does.
And it takes a long time to understand. It's not easy to right, to accept it. And I'm not saying that for a moment. But if you have faith, you start kind of hearing these voices telling you to get up and you'll be fine. And I could actually see myself doing something quite big. And it could be this, you know, I don't know.
But something powerful in surrendering. I just know that once you tell them, you know, we fall onto our knees, it's like this is energy that, you know, there's always energy that we're trying to control our lives. We kind of make things happen. We're trying to forcefully make things happen, and that drains us and it makes us, depletes us, and makes us weak and tired and ill and just powerless. But when we surrender, it's like, you know, it just feels lighter, and this is when Paramatma, you know, the energy, the God, higher consciousness, saying like, now you surrendered, let me sort it all out.
Have faith in my plan. I felt that as well. I heard those sort of voices. Have faith in my plan. You know, and that's probably what got me up. Ta minu shakti main mangi, minu ditti Baba ji ne shakti. So tusi mang ke ta dekho.
I mean, I find that so powerful. I mean, I've been there, literally been on my knees and thinking, now show me the way, open the doors, and I'm ready. And I think so many people who work like us as coaches, we all had to go through something so traumatic that led us to coach other people, not because we just done, you know, studies and courses, no, but through our own experiences. We've been down in the pit. Because we can actually know what other people know, what it feels like to be down there.
Definitely.
And I can't help anybody unless I've actually experienced the agony and the pain. But I really realized now that agony and the pain, there was love in there, there was guidance, there was support, and connected me. The depth of the pain only connected me to the deepest strength of love that was God. You know?
I mean, I just wanted to mention that, you know, we have all these family events, and you know, and everybody is or shows themselves as being happy and content and all those things, and there may be some real difficulties going on in their life, and I know that definitely wouldn't be the right place to kind of talk about these things, but the people that you're surrounded with, if you're, you know, lucky enough to have, you know, like a close-knit family and friends, that those are the very people who want to help you if you are going through a difficult time. But sometimes we are our own worst barrier to receiving any support or help or you know, love from people, because we feel like we're not deserving of it, but we are, you know, every single person is. But sometimes if you kind of hang back and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਲਾਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣ ਦਿੰਦੇ, ਫਿਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁੱਸੇ 'ਚ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਯੂ نو ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੂਡ ਆਫ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਆ, ਯੂ نو, ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਭਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ, ਵੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਗੁਆਚੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਲੱਭਣੀ ਆ. ਸੋ ਯੂ نو, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਾਊਨ ਫੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਮੀ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆ, ਪਰ ਉਹਦੀ we can find the solution together is what I'm trying to say.
And you know, we're often
but it's about opening up.
Because we're always coming from a lack, can't we?
Like mentality,
that's
not
what
enough.
I'm trying to say.
Not you know, good enough. And also, you know, when we are going through a challenging time, me personally, like, you know, waking up a bit early, that helped me. Walk in nature, take your shoes off and walk like bare feet, you know, on the ground. That is so therapeutic, and it connects you with nature, but it also connects you with you and what you're supposed to be doing. Few acts of kindness, make a call, you know, talk with somebody, have a chat. There's lots of little things we can do, and watch the dawn break, you know, to that early or how lovely is that? Listen to the birds. And you know, during COVID, all this became even more clear.
It did,
and life became different, and it became peaceful if you let it be. Like you said, it's all within us. जो भी आप accept करूँगे, allow करूँगे, it will happen. And when you're at a place of peace and, you know, connected to yourself, everyone's going to want to be around you because you're that peaceful soul.
ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਛ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਉਹੀ ਕੁਛ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁੱਸੇ 'ਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਣਾ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੁੱਗਣੇ ਗੁੱਸੇ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਣਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਬੁਲਾਓਗੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ but you know
that's what happens how whatever is sowing you will reap. It's simple as that, Hannah. What you want to sow is, you know, love and respect and honor, ਤਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ ਫਿਰ.
ਤਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ but we'll just touch on this and then we'll do a topic on that. Codependency, that's a big one for us. Massive. Right? So Devinda, थोड़ा जिहा
codependency, I think it's just something that started from your childhood, in the first 7 years of your life, that we become dependent on other people to take care of us, nurture us, because we're not being taught how to be self-reliant, that it's safe to be okay to be alone. We always think as a little child that I need people around me to feel safe because I need to survive. It's a survival way of living. So, and we don't understand that the love that we seek is in us already. You know, the comfort we seek is in us already, the peace is already in us, but we become dependent on other people to give it to us, and we become empty over the years, so empty that we need someone else to fill our vessel, and then become codependent because somebody else might be a really sort of a very energetically very loving and caring person, and we get attracted and drawn to them, and then we need them to fill us up, but we don't realize when we're doing this that become so needy and desperate that needy and desperate starts depleting the other person because they're getting empty and giving it to us, so they start to go distant. And we don't realize this codependency, that we become a people pleaser, we become all these behaviors start coming in us, that we start doing things, and then we start giving energy, you know, like, and trying to make them happy, trying to do things for them and please them. And in a way, there's an intention behind, if I do all of this, they will be attached to me more. We're not realizing it pushes them away. It pushes them away, and then for banda gets so disappointed and hurt, so hurt that main na kuch kita, they still don't care about me, they still ignore me and neglect me, not realizing energetically they don't know, you know, on an unconscious level they feel they need to move away because they're feeling depleted. But we don't realize the person who's draining them, they're the ones that are pushing them away, but all they think is like, man, na kuch kita, I'm doing so much for them, I do so much for their family and their, you know, all their friends, but they still don't care.
Even that, I think actually codependency is a big one, right? But that to me is like somebody's trying to control you.
It is.
And it's like another
control behavior.
Hidden contract.
It is.
But also, you know, if someone says मैं तेरे लिए इन्ना कुछ किया, then why? You know, why did you do that? You know, जे तो तुसी किसी लिए भला करना है या कोई चंगी चीज़ तुसी अपने दिलों करो with no expectation to get something back करके जे असी किसी ਨੂੰ present ਦਿੰਦੇ हैं ਤਾਂ ਉਹ you know खुश हो जाता है present लगे असी इधर थोड़ा कहते भी मैं इन्ने पैसे लाए मैं इतने गई सी मैं आ किता वो किता you just the happiness that person shows, that should be enough. पर सानू आदत हैगी अभी असी सुनाना भी आ दसना भी आ पर असी इतना नहीं सोचते भी जे असी दिलों कीता आ then we shouldn't expect करके उस बंदे दा प्यार जेड़ा आ गया साडे वाल नू because of what we did, that's enough.
But जेड़ा दिलों ही करदे when they're already full, when all their vessels already full, but this behavior is very very subconscious, and they don't realize they're doing it because they learn from a young age. They do automatically because they learn from a young age that, you know, if I don't be nice to anyone, then I'm a bad girl. I'm a naughty girl.
Like me.
So they're not going to like me. And the mom and dad said I'm a naughty girl if I'm not being nice. So I have to do extra nice things so they'll praise me. Then I say I'm a good girl. You know, it's like I didn't realize I was doing this. That when I was little, I used to get a treat if I used to cut really well. I used to color in the lines. You know, those sort of things. I used to get a lot of praise, and I used to get this jelly bean sweet that, oh, you did so well. You know, so I didn't realize that became a pattern in me that I had to do everything correctly, had to be perfect. Otherwise, I won't get praised. I won't get that validation. And I didn't realize that used to be like a little fun little story, but actually from that little fun little story, actually became a very destructive behavior that used to put stress on my body. And I used to feel quite withdrawn because if I didn't do things in a perfect way.
And it becomes repeated patterns, then you're doing it again and again, aren't you?
Exactly, yes.
And again, Jay, if somebody is doing something for you with an agenda, it's not out of love, is it? It becomes a business.
Out of fear.
It's a bit out of fear, and it's a bit like a business. Control. So, you know, je kuch karna, dilo karo, and you watch the rewards, like you said, the rewards you get back are second to none. So
whatever we want from the other person,
we need to give it ourselves.
And then we fill ourselves up. And then we actually, when we want to give something for someone, then we just do it because it makes us happy, not the other person happy. It makes us happy. But asi koshiana, vesari koshi, that's the mirror.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Absolutely. You know? And you know, when you get to a stage where life, when you accept, okay, jo hoya, e mere lai hoya to get me where I am today, and then life starts happening through you.
Exactly.
And that's when, you know, you're in a powerful place, right? Because you're influencing other people. And that's the big thing. Not everybody gets a chance to do that, right?
And I think it's really important, no matter what we're going through life, you know, there is happiness there is joy, you know, and we have to learn to practice being grateful for the things that we do have. It's very easy to focus on, you know, the negative, whatever that is, you know, and the worst case scenario is when somebody passes away, you know, but you know, we still have memories of that person, and you know, there are so many different subjects where we're talking, you know, about how what we give to other people comes back to us. So even if in our most difficult times, if we're humble and we're kind and we're caring, those people will want to care about you more.
Definitely.
Even in your most difficult time.
Definitely. And you know, when people, can't say this often enough, when anybody passes away, when everybody comes to do afsoos, that is like counselling for us, isn't it? And in any situation really, you know, it could be breakdown of a relationship, it could be, you know, due to a death, it could be anything that you're not coping well with. We always need the counselling, don't we? And again, it comes down to talking, sharing and opening up, because when you open up, so will the other person.
And people genuinely care and they do want to help, but nobody can help somebody if they won't talk in the first place. I mean, obviously the signs are always there, you know, somebody doesn't take care of themselves, withdraws, gets depressed, or you know, all the outward signs are there, but we don't know what's going on in the mind.
And more so men, women, girls, they'll talk. It's more so for our, you know, brothers and our sons who do not talk, because that is a big one. No matter how many times we say it, please make sure you speak to your sons, your husbands, your fathers, your brothers, because they tend to always keep it bottled up and think, nah, they're stronger than this, they're fine, you know, nahi kuch nahi hoya. But they're the ones, like we said last time, because they can't talk, they can't share it. And it's going to come out your body somehow.
I think that's happened a lot during the lockdown. I find a lot of men having to confront their fears because they've always been keeping themselves busy in avoidance, because men live in a lot of avoidance, don't they?
They do.
And the lockdown things had to slow down. All of a sudden they had to face all the insecurities and fears, and brought a lot of symptoms, body symptoms. You know, they're diagnosed with so many things because, you know, the body just had to catch up, and it was shouting to them. The symptoms are shouting to you, saying, you know, let go of this behavior, it's not serving you, let go of this control habit, you know. So these symptoms are just shouting to men through these symptoms that change now, otherwise it's too late.
It's going to just get worse.
This is it. And again, you know, you know, they might even think about this, because mostly men, what they do is they turn to drink or they just go out and we don't talk. So please start this, you know, start talking to them. See if you notice a sign with somebody who's not themselves, or they seem a little bit, you know, cold.
And if you're the person that knows something's not right with somebody else, be brave and challenge it. Ask, say, is everything okay? You know, at least you've done something rather than just ignored it.
Yeah. Definitely. And you know, you feel good that you've kind of made an example. You've tried and you've, you know, encouraged. And especially sometimes, you know, children between the age of 11 and up till the age of 25, that's a very uncertain time in males' lives. Definitely.
And it's really important to just check in and make sure that everything's okay. If they're not, if in case there is something going on that they're not happy to share with their own parents, they might talk to you about.
And another big one that's happened is like there's lots of breakdown of a relationship during lockdown because people are so not used to being together 24/7.
Yeah, well, that's difficult for most people.
That's difficult for most people, isn't it? Because we only used to see each other like in the morning, in the evening, and that's about it, and for one meal. But now people found, you know, again,
it's
women,
testing times.
So many women like burnt out because they're working from home, they were homeschooling, and they were cooking 3 meals instead of just the one. Very testing, challenging times we've had to go through, and we're almost kind of out of it. You know, so it's been really tough, and well done to those that kind of managed wearing all these different hats.
I have this interesting.
I've got a really interesting.
Things. Yeah, there's some people come to me and they're saying like, I've got an issue with so person, especially during the lockdown. And I said, oh, you come to me, let's talk about it. She goes, no, I want you to talk to them, not to me. I said, why? I said, because you need to sort them out. I said, why do I need to sort them out? Because if you sort them out, then I'm happy. But can you see what's happening? That we wait, you know, we want
the person to be sorted.
But I said, if it's happening to you, this is something about you that needs to be changed, because like I said, life is a mirror. You know, I can go and talk to that person, but that's not going to change what's in you, that program you're running, because then leave that, there'll be someone else.
Again, there's an underlying issue there. It's the belief they've got underneath about this issue.
So that the person probably feels like, oh, I'm not loved, I'm not respected. You know, if they change their behavior, then I'm going to feel loved and respected. And I was thinking, you want me to talk to them? I said, they're just a mirror of you. You know, it's not going to make any difference. I said, let's work on you. Where did you learn? Where did you start to feeling not loved and respected? Who else made you feel like that years and years and years ago?
And this is where relationships, you know, people are, even before they get married or they're in a relationship, they're looking for the other person. You know, I'm feeling like this, the other person will make me feel all right. And the other person is looking for you to make them okay. So just sort yourself out. It doesn't work out like that. And then, you know, feed your soul, look after yourself, and do the work on you, do the inner work on you, because it all starts from the inside out, right?
Exactly, it happens to all of us. I mean, I was that person years and years ago. You wouldn't recognize me years and years ago. So I used to think that I was the one that was not loved and, you know, wasn't accepted. But then I realized I wasn't loving and accepting myself. So when I started working on me, I didn't sit down with the rest of the people out there and said I needed to change them. I changed me. That's it. You can't pour from an empty cup. You change yourself, you filled yourself up, you know, and you can help others. And it's...
I was just going to mention, have we still got time?
We've got a couple of minutes. We've got almost time to
Very quickly, I was just going to mention self-reflection. I'm a massive advocate of self-reflection. If there's something not right with you, then think about what you're doing, your behaviour, your emotions, your breathing, all of these things. Sorry. And if you're in a relationship and you feel that, you know, he's done something wrong, or she, or whatever, think about how you're being, and try and correct that before expecting the other person to do it, which is similar to what you're saying. But reflecting on your behaviours, your thoughts, feelings, all of those things will definitely make you think about it before you do it again next time. It's like repeated behaviour. That's the only way it can change, if we break that cycle. So that's what I was going to say.
Absolutely. And you know, the main thing is we're breathing, we're here.
Yes.
The more you look after yourself, the better you breathe, and focus on your breathing. Sometimes we don't even, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਹ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉੱਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, don't we? Just take a few breaths and just see how much calmer and better you'll feel just by doing that in a situation. 5 ਮਿੰਟ meditate ਕਰੋ, 10 ਮਿੰਟ ਕਰੋ, ਹੌਲੀ you will become you know, calm, and you will become kind to yourself, and you'll be able to control your mind better.
Exactly.
And realize the power of your mind. Almost time to wrap up, ladies. Any final message from each of you for our viewers?
I'd just like to say it's just a wonderful feeling that you get of feeling freedom from, you don't need to blame anyone out there. No one's out there to hurt us, upset us. Once you can really understand how your mind works, that we are the creator of everything, that we actually is how we create people's behavior. Once we can change that behavior with ourselves, this is a lovely feeling of freedom that no one's out there to hurt us.
Well said. Absolutely. Anything from you?
I've got this little thing that I want to say about road rage. So if you're in your car and you've got a 20-minute journey, half an hour, you know, use that time. That is a precious time that you can have just for yourself. You know, listen to some podcasts, something that's going to lift you up and not get mad about the car that's in front of you or behind, and something that will help you to calm before you get home. And if you've had a really tough day at work, you know, that could be your time to unwind before you present yourself to your family or your friends. So use that time wisely. I love being in the car, so you know, because it's great. I can listen to my music and all those things are a good way of using that very private time for yourself.
Great tips. And from me, sweere ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ phone ਨਾ ਦੇਖੋ. Thank the Creator, thank Vahguruji for another day, a blessed day, that you know that you've woken up. That's the biggest gift you've got. So look after yourself, look after the person next to you, and hopefully we'll be back very soon with another episode. Jai Gurudev. Thank you.
Thank you.